Hi, everyone. Happy Friday, and welcome back to another episode of Divorce Coach Diaries. So, this week I've been thinking about something that affects us all. Everyone with a healthy human brain will deal with this, some of us more than others, and I want to talk about it, and that is worrying. Now, I used to kind of jokingly say that I was a professional worrier. And I actually would still say the same thing about myself today, but I mean something totally different now. And so I want to talk about it. When I used to say I was a professional worrier, that meant to me that I worried all the time and that I let it consume me and that I found myself not being able to get out of it. And there was always something to worry about. And that's what a lot of us mean when we say something like, I'm really good at worrying, or I worry all the time, or I'm a pro, or even sometimes it's like I'm an overthinker. You might call it that, but what you really mean is you're really good at worrying. So if that's you, listen up, stay with me. So if you would call yourself a professional worrier like I used to, what does that mean to you? Maybe it means that you lay awake at night and you're worried about kids or your marriage or money or what's happening in your divorce, and it all feels completely out of control and really scary. And at night, especially, our brains run away with us. Maybe you have found yourself laying awake at night, spinning and ruminating on things that feel so much worse in the middle of the night than they do when your smarter brain is more online during the day. If this is you, you're in the right spot. Let's talk about it. So, our brains are wired to worry, and left unchecked, they're going to keep doing it. It feels preventative to our brains. They think they're doing their job keeping us safe, but they're not. And what our brain is trying to do is attempt to be in control of an uncontrollable future. The future can't possibly be controlled. It hasn't happened yet. This is the difference between worry and problem solving. Worry drains our energy. It pretends to be useful. Sometimes it might even feel irresponsible not to worry about something. We think a good mom worries about her kids. A good friend worries about her friend who's going through something really challenging, or a good wife worries about her husband and what is going on for him. But here's the thing: worry keeps us small, it keeps us stuck. When we worry, often we're thinking about something in the past and trying to prevent it from happening in a certain way in the future. And we think, if I just worry about this enough, then eventually I'll figure out how to solve for this and how to control what's happening in the future. And I know that it does not come up for us in this way. We're not actively thinking, if I worry about this, I can control what's going to happen. But when we pause and when we really think about it, that's what our brain is trying to do. It's trying to control what can't be controlled, and it's trying to solve for something that is not solvable because it hasn't happened yet. It's like we're trying to solve a 500-piece puzzle with only 10 pieces. And I know that might seem silly or oversimplifying it, but when we really take it apart and look at it, that's what is happening. So, why do we worry as humans? We worry because it's a survival mechanism. The brain wants to anticipate danger and it wants to be able to figure out ahead of time if A happens, what are we going to do? What's B? What's the answer to problem A? Sometimes worry is a conditioned behavior. We're so much in a habit of it that it feels normal. It feels caring. It feels loving. And it feels like we can be in control, but we can't. It's a false sense of control when we're worrying. And we think, if I keep thinking about this, maybe I'll be able to prevent it. But it just doesn't work. Worrying comes at a cost. It makes us more anxious and stressed and irritable. It makes us lose sleep. It makes us fatigued physically. It distracts us. It keeps us from being present in the moments that we really want to be present in. We're missing out on what actually is happening right now because we're so focused on what might happen in the future. So, what do you do if you can't get out of this loop of worrying? First off, you have to notice it. You have to interrupt the pattern. And that comes with awareness. So we just call it what it is. Okay, this is worry. What do we do then? We ask ourselves, is this a problem that I can actually solve right now? If so, I am all in, and worry won't be what gets us there. But you will normally find that the things you are worrying about are not solvable problems because our brains are really, really, really good at problem solving. And worrying feels passive, it feels disempowering. Whereas when we go to work solving a problem, worry generally is not involved in that. You might feel something much more that you would describe as motivation or commitment or empowerment, grit, even. And those are all really helpful emotions that will fuel our problem solving. But worry is not one of them. Worry is based in fear. And that's not what is going to drive our best actions. So we're just going to become aware of it. We're going to name it for what it is. And when that doesn't work, here's what we're going to do. We are going to schedule time in our day to worry. Maybe 15 minutes is enough. And during those 15 minutes, let's say you have scheduled it out from 12:15 to 12:30, right in the middle of the day. Maybe you find yourself worrying right when you get up in the morning. Or if you worry more as the day goes on, maybe you want to schedule your worry for later in the day. But whatever time you think is going to be most useful, where you can really focus, that's the time you're going to choose. And you're going to set 15 minutes, and we are going to go all in. This is our time to worry. And we're not going to just think about this a little bit. We are going to take these worries all the way to the end of the track. We are going to go worst case scenario on all the things we're worried about and be specific. We are all in for these 15 minutes of worry. And then when you have gone to all the worst case scenarios, we're going to be finished. 15 minutes, even 30 minutes, if you feel like your worry is consuming everything about your day, give yourself more time. Maybe you want to write it down. Whatever it is that you need to do to get all those worries out and to take them all the way to the end of the tracks, we're going to do that. We're not going to tell ourselves, I shouldn't worry about this. I know this is silly. I know this is pointless. It's not going to do anything to help. That's not the time for this. Right now in our worry time, we are all in. And then when that time is over, we're going to be finished. For another 24 hours, we're not going to worry anymore. And you have to practice being in charge of your brain because it's going to want to worry again later. And we're going to talk back to our brain and we're going to say, oh, we already worried about that today. It's okay. We'll worry about it again tomorrow. So hang on to that. It doesn't have to go anywhere, but we're going to save it until tomorrow. And we're going to practice distracting and redirecting our brain so that we can form new habits and new patterns. It's okay to worry, my friends. It's normal. It's a part of having a healthy human brain, but we don't have to let it overcome us. So here are a couple of things that I want to offer to you before we close. Worry is suffering ahead of time. It does not prevent the thing that we're worried about. You cannot worry enough to prevent something. It steals your peace from today. It's suffering right now. And you can be caring and loving without worry. You can love, you can plan, you can advocate for, you can prepare without looping in the fear that comes along with worry. So when your brain offers you something like, well, a good mom worries about her kids, or even, if I'm not worried about this thing, it must not be that much of a challenge. It's just not true. Worry is not required to solve really big problems in our lives. In fact, it keeps us from solving what we need to solve and want to solve. So, worry will come up. It's human, but we don't have to let it run the show. We can be in charge of it by scheduling out our worry time. You will be surprised what happens and what comes up for you when you really do go all in on purpose for a short time with the things that you're worried about. Don't try to push it away. There is truth to that saying with what we resist persists. That is true in worries as well. So we're not going to push it away anymore. We're just going to do it on purpose for a condensed amount of time. Then we can be in charge of those worries instead of letting our worry overtake us in some level all day long and all night long. My friends, if this is challenging for you, welcome. Welcome to being a human. It's okay, but it doesn't mean that it has to be in charge of you. And if you want help with this, come and see me. I can help you with it. Let's talk about some of the things that you're worried about and let me help bring some awareness to what's happening in your brain so that it's not in charge of you anymore. I help people for free on Tuesdays. I can't wait to meet you. Come and find me at Meg the Divorce Coach on all the platforms. And if you can't find my calendar for free coaching, I will help you. Message me. But megthedivorcecoach.com/free coaching, and that will pull up my calendar on Tuesdays. I can't wait to meet you. Have a great weekend.